Hey everyone, this video is going to be about rust spot repair from somebody who has really no idea what he's doing. This is my 2011 F150. You may have seen other videos on my channel. I picked this up a few months ago. It's a clean truck, I like it a lot, but like many other F150s, it does have a problem with the paint peeling by the rear cab corner area. This is a known issue on this generation of F150, and I'm going to take a look at mine and see if we can clean it up a little bit before winter time. So let's go on over to the area. Right down there, no good. You can see how some surface rust has formed. I'm hoping I can just sand it down and I'll have some nice bare metal underneath. And I'll do my best effort to clean it up. So if I've actually posted this video, that means I was able to do it and the results were not so embarrassing that I was afraid to show it. So considering the location, it's not exactly a conspicuous area. It is underneath the door itself. It doesn't have to be the best cosmetic repair. It's not an outward facing panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it, clean it, prep it, and do my best to cover it up. Here's the other side of the truck. You can see, yeah, I've got something similar going on this side too. It is pretty disappointing considering this truck is only 4 years old, but I guess the paint quality on these things isn't exactly the greatest. So I'm going to start out with my Dremel tool and see how that does in terms of taking down the rust in that area. So that was actually easier than I expected. Didn't take much removal at all to get the surface rust out and get it down to bare metal. Normally at this point, if you were doing body work, you would want to spend a lot of time feathering this area here, so the transition between the paint that you have remaining and the bare metal, to get this as smooth as possible. However, since this is underneath the truck, underneath the door, in an inconspicuous area, I don't have to spend as much time doing this. I've got some 220 grit sandpaper here that I'm going to go ahead and start smoothing it out a bit, but because of the location, it really doesn't have to be perfect. Now that I have the area reasonably smooth, I'm going to clean it off with some brake cleaner. To make sure I have the metal as clear as possible before I lay down the primer, I have some naval jelly rust dissolver here. This stuff is supposed to be brushed in and leave it to work for about 5 to 10 minutes, and that should take all oxidation and rust that's possibly remaining on the metal. But also be careful, it will remove paint, it says. Okay, everything's clean after applying the naval jelly. Now all I have to do is mask the area and start with the primer. I've got Rustoleum primer here, and then I'm going to be putting down a Rustoleum paint that reasonably matches the color of the car. Alright, I've got the area masked off that I want to work with. Because this is Michigan and it's barely above freezing right now, I am going to use a heat gun to warm up the area just before I spray it with the primer and the paint, just to make sure I get good paint adhesion. Alright, our primer should be all set. I've chosen a Rustoleum gloss protective enamel. Looks to be a very close representation of the red paint on the truck, so let's give it a go and see how it does. All right, I went in and had some lunch and let it dry for a bit. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some clear coat now. First, I'm going to heat it up as it is cold outside. So now I've done, I believe, 3 layers of primer, 4 layers of paint, and 3 layers of clear coat. All in all, it's taken me right around 2 hours, including a good half an hour stop for lunch. So it didn't take that much time. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry on this side and go ahead and start the same process on the other side of the truck. Well, I guess now is the moment of truth. I've started on the other side. I'm about an hour into the other side of the truck. I'll take the opportunity to peel off the paper on this side and see what we're left with. You know, that really doesn't look too bad, especially for the first time I've ever tried anything like this before. I'm going to wait for it to fully dry, then I'll try to buff out the texture a little bit to see if I can get it to get smooth, like the surrounding areas there. But really, for an inconspicuous location, I'd say mission accomplished. So I've given the paint about a day to dry now. Everything looks good. The paint feels nice and hard. Overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Most importantly, I hope it protects the bare metal and doesn't form any additional rust or new rust over the winter time. So there you go.